Books that I think capture being a human so perfectly. First and foremost, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab. Well, this is a fantasy and it's not realistic, and also this is water damaged. I think the way that you see such rawness in the emotions of the characters in this book isn't described in almost any other book that I've ever read. And I absolutely love that it shows, it's just so perfect at showing you how human emotion takes over. Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've never read a book that describes addiction better than this one. And this book, once again, describes human emotions in such a raw way and human relationships, and it explores things and relationships so perfectly. And I've never seen that in any other book, and I absolutely adore it. And even though it's written in this script like structure where people are interviewing, you wouldn't think that it'd be as intimate, but it actually makes it more intimate that it's coming person to person rather than like writer to reader, if that makes sense. So this definitely describes being a human so perfectly. Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. It is a love story, it is a romance, but you see anxiety and depression put in such a perfect way. Imperfect because it's anxiety and depression, but it truly captures the way that people with anxiety deal with relationships and the way that they feel about relationships. And I resonated with this book very, very strongly. And I absolutely suggest that if you're looking for something, a beautiful love story that will make you giggle and kick your feet, but also deals with real world problems. Next is Mockingjay by Suzanne Collins. I picked Mockingjay out of this whole series because in this book you can really tell that Katniss is 17 years old. And I think we forget that because we're so used to reading about people who were in their 20s. But this book captures the essence of being a 17-year-old who is just going through shit all the time. And I absolutely loved that. Despite the fact that this was actually my least favorite Hunger Games book, I still think that Suzanne did an amazing job of depicting what it's like to be 17 years old. And I assume 17 years old and literally fighting in a war. And I would definitely suggest it for anybody who is looking for one of those raw, gut wrenching emotional books. These are all of the books that I think capture being a human and are just about life.